We always enjoy having your company. My name is Olive and now let's kick off today's edition. On Friday, President Kagame received Maurice Sanda Kuyate, Minister of Foreign Affairs, African Integration, and Guineans abroad of the Republic of Guinea, who delivered a message from President Mamadi Doumbouya. William Evans has the details.
The discussions between President Paul Kagame and Minister Maurice Sanda Kuyate focused on strengthening the already existing relationship between the two countries, as Guinean minister stated.
Et comme vous le savez, les deux présidents sont des frères.
As you know, these two presidents are like brothers, and since President Mamadi Doumbouya came to power in Guinea, the relationship between our country and Rwanda has developed even further, as both heads of states are committed to transforming their countries into developed nations. Therefore, it is essential that the relationship between our countries also advances. We talked about the cooperation between our two countries and how they can share experiences in social welfare, economic and political fields. I would like to take this opportunity to thank His Excellency President Paul Kagame for the warm reception he gave me, truly receiving his brother who came as a special envoy.
Dont je suis l'envoyé spécial.
The Guinean Minister of Foreign Affairs, African Integration, and Guineans abroad of the Republic of Guinea also spoke about how the good relations and cooperation between Rwanda and Guinea could serve as a model for the African countries.
Les deux chefs d'État,
the heads of state of both countries have a strong will to make the cooperation between their countries an example for other African countries, and even beyond, illuminating the global south. Moreover, this cooperation could go beyond to become a driving force for cooperation among African countries themselves. Because beyond cooperation with the global south, we also see cooperation among Africans, and this cooperation, Rwanda and Guinea, could be a shining example
pour le reste de l'Afrique.
Maurice Sanda Kuyate, the Guinean Minister of Foreign Affairs responsible for Africa cooperation and Guineans living abroad, came to Rwanda to attend the 46th Ministerial Conference for the countries of the Francophonie Organization, which concluded its work in Kigali on Thursday.
Moving ahead, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Kagame and His Highness the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, have committed to further advancing the relationship and cooperation aimed at the development of the peoples of their countries. On Friday, the Emir of Qatar concluded his two-day visit to Rwanda. President Paul Kagame expressed his gratitude to His Highness the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, for his visit to Rwanda and the meaningful discussions they held. He stated that Rwanda greatly values the strong partnership it maintains with the state of Qatar, as well as the special friendship that continues to guide cooperation between the two countries. The head of state reaffirmed that they will continue to build on the positive progress made and accelerate joint initiatives that serve the interests of their people. During the two-day visit, President Kagame gifted the Emir of Qatar with Inyambo cows, a gesture deeply rooted in Rwandan culture, symbolizing friendship, respect, and strong cooperation between the two leaders and their countries. Economic analyst Teddy Kaberuka, based on the joint projects between the two countries, considers Qatar to be a key partner.
A MOU signed between Qatar and Rwanda to invest in infrastructure, transport, air transport, agriculture, and ICT. And we saw Qatar bringing a lot of investment in Rwanda. And I would say this is part of that investment partnership where the two countries are working hand in hand. We saw Qatar taking over shareholding within Rwanda, where they have 51% of the shareholding. Qatar is heavily investing in the Kigali International Airport, Bugesera International Airport, which is another heavy investment. And we know Qatar is strategically positioning its investment in Africa to expand or diversify their economy, so that if at all their base of the economy of oil and gas would be shaken, they will have an alternative for their investment. And actually, Qatar is really growing its effort to invest in Africa.
Highness the Emir of Qatar also appreciated the broad discussions he had with President Paul Kagame, emphasizing their shared determination to promote and capitalize on the opportunities for cooperation between the two countries. He noted that Qatar and Rwanda share a strong and growing relationship and commended President Kagame's commitment to supporting initiatives aimed at maintaining peace in the region. Rwanda and Qatar enjoy cooperation across various sectors, including investment, tourism, and transportation. The Emir of Qatar left Rwanda for the Democratic Republic of Congo. Qatar and the USA played significant roles in facilitating the signing of a peace agreement between the DRC and Rwanda in June this year in Washington, D.C. This week also saw the convening of the fourth meeting of the Joint Security Mechanism between Rwanda and DRC, attended by representatives from the United States, Qatar, the African Union Commission, and Togo, which was appointed as a mediator by the African Union. They reviewed progress made on the first phase and began talks on the second phase, which includes dismantling the FDLR terrorist group and lifting defense measures on Rwanda's side. Qatar now acts as a mediator between the DRC and the AFC M23 coalition. Qatar is a country located in the Middle East of the shores of the Persian Gulf, and it has a highly developed economy thanks to the oil and gas extraction, and in its politics it has focused on mediation efforts regarding peace and security both regionally and internationally. To more news, on Friday, the Prime Minister Dr. Justin Nsengiyumva visited the Nyabarongo second hydroelectric power plant construction site and expressed satisfaction with the progress made so far, which now stands at 57%. We have details. The Prime Minister toured various sections under construction that will form part of the Nyabarongo second hydropower plant, receiving explanations on their purpose and overall progress of the project. The plant is located on the Nyabarongo River between Kamonyi District in the southern province and Gakenke District in the northern province. The Minister of Infrastructure, Dr. Jimmy Gasore, explained that once completed, the power plant will generate 43.5 megawatt of electricity and will also serve other important purposes.
Uyu ni umushinga twita multipurpose, ni ukuvuga ngo ni umushinga uhurijwemo intego nyinshi zitandukanye.
This is a multi-purpose project that includes several components. One of its main goals is to generate 43.5 megawatts of electricity. There is also a plan for irrigation, as the power plant will create a large lake that can support this purpose. Additionally, the project aims to provide drinking water and includes water transportation. We are also exploring ways to produce electricity from the solar energy using solar panels installed above the water. This project will advance our country in various economic sectors. It has been ongoing for a long time and is currently at 57% complete. The Prime Minister's visit is crucial for reviewing the progress made so far, as this is a significant project with high expectations from Rwandans. The visit will help identify what can be done to accelerate the project's completion.
Minister Gasore emphasized that the electricity produced by the plant will have a particular advantage because it will be hydropower based, ensuring reliable energy output.
The country is advancing, and as it develops, it requires various sources of electricity. We can say that this will be very beneficial. However, for it to have a significant impact, it will require merging different projects, whether they involve gas methane or solar energy. Regardless, the benefits are greater because a hydroelectric power plant generates electricity 24/7, unlike solar or other sources that are intermittent. This is a major step that will help us move forward toward electricity self-sufficiency.
According to the Ministry of Infrastructure, the project will include a large reservoir stretching 67 kilometers, extending from the construction site up to Vunga in the northern province. The reservoir will cover nearly 60 hectares. Approximately 3,000 residents living in the affected areas will be relocated and resettled in appropriate locations to make room for this vital infrastructure and its related components. The Nyabarongo second hydropower plant is expected to be completed in December 2027 at a total cost of over $214 million. Moving ahead, the Secretary General of the Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie, Louise Mushikiwabo, pointed out that the member states themselves bear the greatest responsibility for resolving the challenges they face. Mushikiwabo made the remarks during a press briefing that concluded the 46th Ministerial Conference of la Francophonie that was being held here in Kigali. We have details. These are some of the issues the Secretary General of the Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie, Louise Mushikiwabo, discussed in a press conference held Thursday. She addressed political and security challenges affecting some member countries, emphasizing that the primary solutions lie within those countries rather than in international organizations.
Ce ne sont pas les organisations internationales qui vont mettre de l'ordre dans les pays.
It is not international organizations that will restore peace in countries. We respect the will and actions of individual countries and the role of national leadership in addressing their own issues. That doesn't mean we can't contribute, but our role is not that significant unless a member state formally requests us to intervene in a specific way. We then do our best to complement what is already being done. The same applies to Great Lakes region, but lasting solutions must come from the countries themselves because we act according to what they ask of us. No one should expect an extraordinary solution from international organizations. This goes beyond the Francophonie. This is true even for the United Nations, which has far greater capacity than we do. I believe no one should exaggerate the role and ability of international organizations because they operate based on the decisions of their own member states.
Des organisations internationales qui dépendent en définitive des États qui les composent.
Asked whether she plans to seek another term as the head of the Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie, Louise Mushikiwabo noted that she has no definitive answer for now.
Mon contrat expire le 31 décembre 2026, donc j'ai encore un petit peu de temps.
My term ends December 2026, so I still have time to think about it. We also discussed this during the ministerial meeting, particularly regarding preparations for the elections so that candidates can begin to present themselves. The process will begin in January 2026 and will last 6 months as we encourage candidates to run for this leadership position. In that context, I have received requests from leaders of different countries asking me to run again. I told them I will not reach the level of Abdou Diouf, who served 3 terms, but I was deeply touched by their request because it shows they still have confidence in me, and I appreciate that. What I can say is that I first need to consult with the leadership of my own country because member states are the ones that present candidates. I was asked by member countries, but I also need to consider what my own country's laws say concerning retirement age, especially since I am approaching an advanced age. So I'll give my final answer after discussing with my country's leaders.
Je répondrai à ces États après avoir d'ici peu consulté avec les autorités de mon pays.
The Kingdom of Cambodia has been chosen to host and preside over the next ministerial conference of this organization, which will take place there in November 2026. Moving ahead, as Rwanda confronts a rise in cyber threats, technology experts are warning the public to stay vigilant, avoiding suspicious links, messages, and protecting personal pins to curb a wave of digital fraud targeting everyday citizens. William Evans unpacks.
Under the theme Securing Our Digital Future, Safeguarding Rwanda's Economy, NETFEL has organized an awareness meeting pushing for digital safety for a sustainable future. Participants highlighted what these conversations mean to them.
As a student, these conversations they help me to see that what I'm learning is not the end of everything, but there's other things that I should consider regarding the safety of the information that people put on the internet and also the information that the applications I'm creating are going to be collecting. So I have to safeguard that information and ensure that I don't compromise the information and they're not like sold and used for illegal activities without the users' knowledge.
Conferences like this give us an insight and a picture of how data protection laws are put in place so as we can abide to them, so to integrate what we learn in school with what's outside the world.
These add that since there is no 100% protection against cyber attacks, Such awareness meetings are important because they help them learn from each other for effective cybersecurity solutions.
Well, you can't really protect yourself 100%, but you can try to, okay, first of all, these conferences give you a very good insight of how things are. So when you come here, you can network with different people, and these people can give you, okay, when you network, you connect with different people, and different people have different knowledge. And the panel discussions and everything, these are the type of things the young people need. They need to attend conferences, they need to see all those campaigns. Oh, I like the NCSA program. I continuously see it on LinkedIn. It tells you how the Wi-Fi can expose you to different things, and all those. So the young people should especially be very engaged in this type of conversations.
In my perspective, I feel like some people think that cybersecurity is regarding like larger organizations, that it doesn't have anything to do with them as an individual, so they just go out there and give out their information anyhow. But when you get to come across events that educate you about such things, you're able to secure yourself. Like passwords, you put strong passwords. You're also careful where you share your information and which kind of information you can share. And so people are not yet aware that actually it's also about them as an individual, not just larger organizations or governments. Well, for someone who isn't able to attend, I would encourage them to use all the resources that are online, because there's a lot of it. And also they learn about the policies that the government has set, like on the National Cybersecurity Authority websites, so they're aware of the laws that are already available, because we don't know, because I also didn't know. So I would encourage them to check out those things willingly, and then they learn and they safeguard their information.
The managing director of Netfela noted that most cyber attacks observed in Rwanda are carried out mainly through mobile phones. He emphasized that such discussions aim to help citizens understand the tactics used by fraudsters and how to protect themselves.
So you may see that it's a small thing just to click on a link to open a document, but what you do, you give a hacker a 90% just a way of attacking you or making you compromised. The main ones are phishing. So phishing, we've been talking about it as these links they send people, these documents they send people. You may see just on WhatsApp, just click on this link, you may just win a laptop, iPhone 17, whatever. The other thing is phishing. Phishing is these voice attackers. These people who call people just to attack them.
Rwanda's digital literacy rate has risen dramatically over years. According to the National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda, by late 2024, it had climbed to 75.2%, up from 10% in 2017. Under the Economic Transformation Pillar of the Second National Strategy for Transformation, NST2, digital transformation is to be achieved by 100% by 2029. William Evans, RwandaTV News.
To the health sector, the Rwanda Biomedical Center is urging Rwandans to take medicines only when prescribed by a doctor and to use them correctly, warning that improper use can cause serious health complications, including death. RBC delivered this message in Kigali on Friday during a campaign aimed at combating the misuse of medication. We have a detailed report. Some residents say they rarely go to the hospital for treatment because they usually buy medicine directly from pharmacies. They admit that sometimes, after feeling relieved, they reuse the same medicines when they fall sick again without seeking medical services.
Oya nta kwiciciza kundi iyo wumvise worohewe uhita uyihorera imiti kuyinywa kugeze kuwa gatanu kandi n'ubundi wakize nanjye nihereyeho.
It is not that I purposely skip my medications, but once I start feeling better, I usually stop taking them. I just can't get myself to finish the full course when I already feel fine. After about 3 days, I feel okay, jump back into my normal routine and forget about the medication. Then I got sick again. I took the same medication, but it did not work for me.
ariko noneho byatumye nkunywa wose ariko ibinini byo ntabwo mpfa kubimara.
Dr. Lizine Tuyisenge, a pediatrician at the University Teaching Hospital of Kigali, says they frequently receive patients who arrive in critical condition due to improper use of medication.
Birababaje ko wazana umwana wawe afite umuriro wa 40 nkamuvura nkamumara n'icyo.
It is very sad for me to treat a sick child who has had a fever of 40 degrees Celsius for almost a week. The child's condition worsened because the medication was taken incorrectly, and by the time they reach the hospital, the child is found in critical condition. The major problem we face today is that parents often buy medications from pharmacies without a prescription. We need to work closely with pharmacists to ensure that antibiotics and other medications are not sold without a doctor's prescription. This practice is very improper and must be eradicated. Dr. Isabel Mukagatare, the head of biomedical services at the Rwanda Biomedical Center, says more intensive awareness campaigns are needed to help various groups understand the seriousness of this issue.
Ni ikibazo kiri ku isi yose. Byagaragaye rero yuko kubera gukoresha
This is not a problem only in Rwanda, it is a global issue. It has been found that the misuse of antibiotics leads microbes to develop resistance, making the antibiotics ineffective. This situation requires greater efforts, including training, raising awareness about the issue. Doctors need to be trained, pharmacists as well, and the public should also be educated on the effective use of medication. Research shows that when people misuse medicine, it weakens the body's ability to fight diseases. According to data from the World Health Organization, between 3 and 5 million people die each year globally due to misuse of medication. If nothing changes, by 2050, deaths resulting from incorrect use of medication are projected to reach 10 million per year. Now we'll take a short commercial break and then come and look at what is happening on the international scene.
Nyiri muto arababwiraga data bati ntabwo wagira umukamo mwinshi utunze inka imwe, ariko nigeze acika intege. Mama akinjira mu bucuruzi hari abamubwiraga bati ntabwo watera imbere udakorera mu iduka rigezweho, ariko ntibyamusubije inyuma, yakoranaga umwete. Njya muri kaminuza hari abanshidikanyagaho bavuga ko nashobora kaminuza naturuka mu muryango wifashije, ariko byarangiye nanditse amateka mashya. Igihe cyo gutera ishema umuryango wanjye kigeze, bamwe bakomeje kumbwira bati ntabwo watera umuryango wawe ibyishimo n'ishema, ariko narabishoboye. Hari abakekaga ko nasigira umurage ukomeye abankomokaho, ariko ubu mfite uruganda rutunganya amata. Banki ya Kigali yabaye umufatanyabikorwa wanjye mu rugendo rwose, inzozi zanjye ziba impamo. Bigereho.
Thank you so much for joining us today. On behalf of the entire news team, we wish you a restful weekend ahead. Goodbye and enjoy.